I'm so thrilled and honored to be interviewing author and coach Joyce Pellegrini. Hi, Joyce. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great. Um, could you please tell us a brief story about your journey as a stress management coach?
Sure. In 2001, I hit corporate burnout and I actually walked in and quit my job without a plan. So that was not a great idea. However, it happened to be my journey. I had been on sleeping pills for 12 years, literally on Ambien, and I made the decision then that I was going to stop doing that. And I was in search of healing modalities and what would work to help me sleep and how to reduce my stress. So through that journey, I learned EFT and Qigong and meditation. I tried almost every modality that was around in my area, and I live in Florida. But one day I went to the beach and I met a woman that did biofeedback using an energy machine. So I ended up doing 4 sessions with her, and I was so blown away with the information that it gave me. It was right on point. It broke down my mental emotional issues. But not only did I learn through the techniques that she gave me through the equipment, but it also taught me how our mindset, like stress, can come in many fashions. It could be work, it can be home, children, financial, could be health and wellness. But when we don't have our mindset, when we do not know how to manage our stress, then it will physically manifest a disease, in my opinion. So what I was learning was I had to get off the pills. And my issues were I did not communicate effectively because what I did is I pushed, I worked, and when I'd go home, I was like a rat on a wheel. My mind never shut up. I shoulda, woulda, coulda, did all this stuff, which the first thing is I did not learn as a child how to communicate effectively. So that was the first thing. If you have stress that's on your mind and you don't release it, then it becomes an illness. So I had learned to communicate effectively. I had to learn to communicate my truth. I also had to learn to listen because we tend to, when I was a workaholic, all I did is go, 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 and I never really had any time. So once I stopped working, I had to finally listen to people around me, as well as I had to listen to what my body was telling me. So an example is I used to get sinuses and I used to get itchy eyes, and I'd always say, oh, it's just pollen. Well, through my equipment, I learned that my sinuses and my eyes, because I was gluten intolerant, I was allergic to grapes, so I was drinking wine, that would affect me. And I started now paying attention. When something happens with your body, you need to stop and rewind. And I would have to go back. What did I just eat? What did I just do? And I started writing. I started tracking all the things that I always made an excuse for, but never slowed down to understand really, because our body is like a computer and it will always tell us what's going on, but we're just not taught how to listen. So that was really my journey. And I've been doing health and wellness and using energy and my equipment for the last 14 years. So it's really been, it was a tool that I healed myself. I was depressed. I couldn't leave the house. I gained weight. And when the machine came into my life, I did sessions on myself daily, then weekly. And not only does it tell you what's going on, but it also sends it the frequencies to help balance the life, balance yourself. So it's really an amazing tool and technique that I've learned that I can share with everyone I work with.
Now, could you please walk us through the 5-step process of your energy mindset system and how it can help one cope with stress and restore balance in one's life?
Well, like I said, I think the first thing really is you really have to listen to the body, and then you really have to communicate, because that was really the biggest learning thing for me, is that you just kept pushing and pushing and never address what really is going on. First thing is to communicate how you feel to the loved ones or wherever your issues are, wherever your stress levels are. And then the second thing is I had to incorporate meditation, quiet the mind, because I could never shut down. So I used meditation, I used tapes from HemiSync that was mind food that I would listen to at night to help calm my brain, my neurotransmitters. That really helped me and really calmed me down as well, which then I began to sleep. When you detox from a drug, I literally didn't sleep for 4 months. So through that process, I would force myself, I would go to bed, I'd make all the room dark and cold, and I would just lay there, but I would at least be in peace. So it's really getting outside of your head and releasing, whether you write a diary, keep a journal, you can do, write affirmations. There's so many things that you can do to communicate what's in your head and put out. Another thing I had to learn is I had suppressed anger, and I did voice printing. I've done a lot of tests, and through my DNA, anger was really an issue. So I did an anger management class that really taught me how to write down to that person what I was angry about, and I would just release and just let it all go. And of course, you never mail the letter, and I burned it and I released it. But it was another way, and it's such an easy technique to do, to let go of what is holding you back, because when you have anger, the only one it hurts is you. So the only one it was hurting was me. Through that process of writing the letter, releasing, getting all the junk, whatever, it was not a nice letter, something that I would probably not even be proud of to even share. However, it was really my truth. I was so upset with my father and a couple of family members where once I wrote it down, I released, I shed the tears, I let it go, and then I had to forgive. It's like forgive and forget. Maybe I never forget. It took me a while, but I did release, I did forgive, and I had to finally forget, because when we stay in the past, you can never go forward. You can never see a bright white light at the end of the tunnel when you stay in the past. And it's a situation that the only person it really hurts is you, meaning it was really hurting myself.
So another technique that I'd like to share is when you really have those negative self-thoughts continuing going on in your head, and you keep beating yourself up for not being the best mom or not being the best wife and all this other craziness that's just bad self-talk. All you do is say, cancel, cancel.
Cancel, cancel.
And it's so simple, but when I started using that, all it would do was make me laugh. Because right when I had a thought, I would like, cancel, cancel, like really out loud. And I would bust out laughing. So number one, it changed my mindset. It changed my mood. And then I'm like, and I realized like, I'm not going to walk around saying cancel, cancel all day long. So it was another technique that I learned that I share with my clients, that it's really that simple to change like this, your mindset. From being happy to sad, or just talking bad about yourself, instead of just honoring yourself and just say, look, it's a situation that you need to address. And then another thing I also learned that I share with my clients is, even wearing a rubber band around your wrist and you snap the rubber band, because what happens is number one, it's painful. Number two, it really will shock you, because you don't want to do this. You don't want to continually self-sabotage yourself or self-negative talk. So they're really easy, practical steps. But I did it myself, and I share with my clients that it really is about shifting your energy, understanding what energy really is. And it's just like you're a mom. If something happens to your child, you get this weird feeling, and then it raises up the hair on the back of your neck, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to call home, or something's going on. That's how we're all energetically connected. So if you can change your mindset from negative to positive, and you shift it like that, you shift your energy, and then things will continue to flow. Because when they teach at the law of attraction, which was another big tool that I had learned, life goes where energy flows, and what you resist persists. And if you really think about that, it's such a profound two statement, because what you resist will continue to persist if you don't give it attention and make the necessary changes. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be happy, healthy, and have great relationships. But if you don't have your energy flowing in a positive manner, you don't get your mindset to flow. You can't do anything. You can't move forward in life. I mean, it's really that basic, but it's really that simple. If you can just train yourself and just do a couple little techniques to shift you that quick, and you'll see how your life will change really easily.
Kindly tell us about your upcoming projects and events.
Well, I'm going to be speaking in 3 months. I'm having a master class, and the master class will really go through some of the techniques I shared here, but we'll really do it with a round table and have people participate so that we can educate on. I have some Qigong moves that I teach in my classes, how to get the energy flowing through your body. I'll have a guest speaker that will teach emotional freedom technique, which is tapping. It's really important. Not every modality I think really works, but it's just really what are you open to and what you can incorporate in your daily life. So that will be in August of 2019.
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to take this interview.